So we're heading to Monday Night Football at Old Trafford as Manchester United look to keep this unbeaten run going, and we're up against David Moyes' Everton. It feels like I've gone back in time 20 years saying that. At the time of recording, we're currently joint seventh in the league. Everton, meanwhile, sit 13th, just 3 points behind us, and they're one of those teams who can look absolutely awful one week and annoyingly solid the next, which I think is typical David Moyes behaviour. With us playing Monday night, though, there could be added pressure on this match because some of the teams around us have modest fixtures. So failing to win could create a gap between those teams around us. Arsenal face Spurs, so there's potential for one or if not both of those teams to drop points. But Villa face Leeds, Chelsea have Burnley, Liverpool play Forest. So I do expect some of the teams around us to maybe pick up some points, which is actually a concern, which I'm going to go through in a bit as well. This was an interesting game last season. United won 4-0, which is still Ruben Amorim's highest win as Manchester United manager. Rashford and Xerxes both scored braces each, which ended up being Rashford's last Premier League appearance for us. And check this out, the last time Xerxes scored in the Premier League as well, which is insane. And it was after the game where Ruben Amorim gave his comments about a storm is coming. And just like Mystic Meg, he wasn't half right about that, was he? In terms of United's form, so we're unbeaten in 5. 3 wins, 2 draws, and offensively, I think we're starting to look like a real team again. We've got 19 goals scored so far this season, which is the fourth best in the league behind City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. We're third for shots per game, and the attack is clearly improving. But defensively, we're a mess. 18 goals conceded already. That's the 14th worst in the league. And what's even more worrying is our XG against is 16.8, which makes us the fourth worst team in the league for chances conceded. And we know where these goals come from: crosses, set pieces, long throws, second balls. The ball goes anywhere near our box, and we look like we've never defended in our lives. The positive, though, is our home form. We're actually decent this season, currently sitting seventh in the league for home form, won every game at Old Trafford except the opening day loss to Arsenal. And some would say we should have, I think we deserve to get something out of that game as well. But we still have a long way to go if we're going to turn Old Trafford back into the fortress it once was when teams were, defeated in the tunnel. But it's a step in the right direction. In terms of Everton's form, their results so far under Moyes this season have been exactly what you would expect: mixed. 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats in their last 5 games. Their last game before the international break was a 2-0 home win against Fulham. The away form is actually good news for us, though. 1 win away from home all season for Everton, 1 draw, 3 losses. They're 12th in the league for away form. So on paper, United are the 7th best team at home versus Everton, who are the 12th worst team away from home. So we should come into this as favourites. But, and there's always a but, Moyes is then playing exactly the kind of football which gives us problems. They're a classic David Moyes team, but with a few tweaks. So they're very direct. They've got one of the lowest possession teams in the league with around 45% on average. They don't mess around building out from the back. They like to go forward quickly with early balls, wide crosses, long diagonals, and exactly the sort of stuff that we struggle with. 42% of their attacks come down their left flank, going through Jack Grealish, who is going to be one we need to pay attention to. And set pieces. David Moyes loves a set piece routine: corners, long throw ins, winning second balls. He's publicly spoken about it already this season, making set pieces a priority weapon. Considering 10 of our conceded goals have come from balls into the box, that is a worry going into this game. So yeah, squeaky bum time when it comes to that. Everton are third in the league, though, for possession won in the final third, which means they press aggressively when the moment is right, and especially, when opponents look sloppy playing out from the back, which is something we need to be aware of. They got good defensive shape, only 13 goals conceded this season, which is the 8th best in the league. Away from home, you'd expect them to be sitting a little bit more compact, disciplined. They're going to make it physical, just a proper David Moyes team. In terms of lineups, Everton lined up like this in their last game, which was a 2-0 victory against Fulham. Jordan Pickford, In goal, Mikolenko at left back, Keane, Tarkowski, and James Garner ironically played at right back. Adrissi Gay in midfield, Tim Iriroeg-Bunam in midfield, Jack Grealish on the left, who is the one to watch for me. 1 goal, 4 assists so far this season for Jack Grealish. Drewsbury Hall as the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. And then Ilman Njai, who is currently their leading goal scorer with 4 goals. And then Barry up front. Now, you could see a bit of a tweak from David Moyes where they could switch Garner in the midfield and bring in Jake O'Brien, could come in at right back, which is how they played in their draw against Sunderland. But that's how they lined up in their last game. And again, I'm recording this video before any of the press conferences for injury updates, etc. In terms of how I would like to see United line up, I would go with Sen Lamons in goal. Luke Shaw, I'd bring Harry Maguire if he is fit and available for the central centre-back position, because I do think Everton are, like, our Achilles heel this season is balls into the box is where we're conceding a lot of goals, whether that's crosses, long throw-ins, corners, set pieces. That and Harry Maguire gives us at least that aerial stability while he's in there. So if he's fit and available, then I would bring in back Maguire for that reason. And De Ligt at the right-sided centre-back. De Ligt's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet with his performances so far this season. I think he's been outstanding. I would go with Patrick Dorgu, still at left wing-back to give us that physicality and that pace to help with Njai down that side. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro in midfield. Ahmad is one I would play at right wing back. I could make an argument for playing Ahmad where Mount is in the 10 position and bringing in Mazraoui to give us a little bit more stability against Jack Grealish, because that's going to be a matchup to watch. But that's why I would play De Ligt there to give us a little bit of experience to help cope with Jack Grealish down that side. And I think that Ahmad and that Mbumo link up play is our biggest weapon, and I don't want to see it broken up too much. So Ahmad, I would play at right wing back, and Mbumo, and then Mount coming in for the injured Benjamin Sesko. He's the only injury that we do know about ahead of the press conference, and then Cunha playing up front. So that's how I would personally line up for this match on Monday night. But get involved in the comments. Let me know your team predictions down below as well. Now, in terms of score predictions, I think Everton can hurt us with long balls, set pieces, they're pressing traps, they're quite good at it as well. So we need to be on it from the start. But they've only won 1 game away from home all season, and we've only lost once at Old Trafford. I do have a couple of concerns though. So firstly, with us playing Monday, if the pressure I think will be on us after the weekend's results, we've seen, and when the pressure is on us, we've seen this team get a nosebleed before when there seems to be something on the line. I don't know if that's a mentality thing or psychological, but it is a worry that we could see a collapse if there is a pressure on us that we have to win this game. And the second one is, even at home, and our home form is starting to improve. They've not really. We've made a bit of a mountain out of a molehill at times. Sunderland was the only real smooth game. Burnley we beat, but we let them back into the game in the second half. Needed a last-minute penalty to beat them. Chelsea were down to 10 men. We scored 2 goals. Casemiro got sent off. We let Chelsea back into that game as well. Finished 2-1. Brighton, we almost threw away a 3-goal lead. So we have to stop this second half drop-off, because it is a genuine concern. And with all that being said, though, I expect us to create chances. I expect us to take chances as well. And if we do take our chances and stop giving away charity goals, then I think we're going to win this. I'm going with 3-1 to United, and Mbumo, Ahmad, and Cunha. But if we switch off and concede early and give them something to defend, then it could get really uncomfortable. But I'm still going with a 3-1 victory. But let me know your score predictions and thoughts below. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. See you in the next one.